Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 48 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. Let's start with the progress report. As you can see this week, the value of my characters plus the corporation is now 85.1 billion ISK. We're getting closer and closer to that 100 billion mark. If you look at where did that growth come from, my main actually lost value. I didn't lose a ship. I gained some skill point. I did sell a few item a little bit under value, but I think that is basically asset in the hangar that dropped value a little bit because I didn't do much with Tanak this week, so I lost some money. I know that I bought a ship, so I might have overpaid a little bit because I was lazy to find the cheapest material because I was building my ship. So anyway, Tanak dropped a little bit in value. Erica gained a little bit. This is only skill point. This Tanak Alahed is the owner of the holding corp. Didn't move much, probably just skill point. Then Toy Company gain 800 million, which came from our mining fleet. And the Gunzaras holding dropped a little bit in value, and that's fuel consumption. That's all there is to it. So it's probably, like, if you look here, it's probably one of my worst week since we started, because if you look here, since I started, it's my worst week since week 6 because well, we were at war for a large part of the week. I didn't do much incursion. I was super busy at work, so usually I can get off work and play a few hours, or at least I can get off work, play an hour, like do corp logistic, then I go eat, and then I can like play a little more at night. I didn't have that amount of time. I was like finishing work late. We're really busy this week, so I didn't get to play as much as I want. And at the same time, the corp was in a war for a large part of the week. So all in all, there's not that much progression on the ISK value of the corp. We have huge progression on the military strength of the corp, and we'll get to that when we get into the military part of the report. Now, second part of the report, if we want to look at the member, we are now at 136 member in corp, so that's 8 more than last week. And they are not alt, they're mostly like real people that join. If you look at the online presence of the corp, they're like most people, I would say, okay, that's what, maybe 60%, if you just 60% of the corp that is logging daily, and had another bunch that logged in within the last week. So we got maybe like 85% that hasn't logged for like a little more than a week. Some of them I know that they're alt, so that they're not logged in, and some of them are people that have flown with us like for a long time, and I'm giving them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt before kicking them. I don't want to be Paper Tiger Corp, where you see that all the time in EVE. A corp that on paper they have like 100 member or 200 member, but they show up and there's 2 people. So that there's a lot of those in EVE, like Zombie Corp, if you can call like that. That's not what we want with this group. So I'm trying to keep my roster as active as possible and trying to flush out inactive people. The idea is that after that you get into a point where people underestimate you, I rather be underestimated than try and fear people out of attacking me. But as soon as it start turning violent, you just crumble because you don't have the people to fight. So that's it for HR. Online presence, we're still mostly our strong time zone is Europe. We are getting more people, a little bit more people on NA time. We are open to recruitment. We want to keep growing this corp. The idea is to get we're turning, just because of our number and the people that we can bring, we're turning into, I wouldn't say like we're not a strong corp on the global EVE scale, but we're turning into let's say a significant local power. I would say, because we can field a good amount of people, and a good amount of people with a good amount of ship, and we're getting better at that point. So at that aspect of the game. Now, industrial operation. Well, we were in war most of the week, so while we could have built out of safety, we did have most of our station evacuated, and we didn't build. We kept like very short, under 24-hour build job, and we weren't really, we were far from running at full capacity, and as a corp we didn't build much. Individual members, some of them did, but they also had the instruction of not doing long build job to avoid losses. So it did impact our production a little bit. It started back. I would say the actual war that we had stopped yesterday. So we've been restarting the production chain, and we're going back to running industry, to running full time our industry. But I don't have much to tell you. My Charon that I had on sale on contract didn't sold, so I took it off, and I flown it to sell it to the Dixie, which had the biggest buy order in the area, and so we've sold it to somebody that had a buy order, and we have one last Orca that finished, and that is on contract in Pashnai. So that's about it for the industrial operation. War. Just to tell you a little bit how everything happened this week. The beginning of the week was mostly reffing and defending the ref timer. At one point, we did get 45 people in Ferox in Corp. So that is 45 people with Guns or a Stag Corp member that were in fleet in Feroxes to defend our station, which was a blue ball. So shit happened. But we are pulling good number. That ran for like a few days. On one day they refed our Raitaru. The other day they refed our Atenor. So they were scattering, using scattered reffing just to make it harder on us. And we were forming, but at some point we got lucky on the last timer, and they switched back to a time which was better for us. So we didn't have any problem forming up and having people to defend those timer. That lasted for a few days, and on Tuesday, they anchored a POS in Beke. So for us, we had introduced a few days before we had introduced rock in our fleet doctrine, because we wanted to move to heavier stuff than to battleship. So we did introduce that on our corp doctrine. when they anchored the POS, we tried to fight it, but again, they anchored it on any time, like late any time, which for us is not our strongest time zone. We had we did manage to, like, on the spot form up with 7 people to try to fight them, but we didn't have the DPS to keep a POS from anchoring. So they did anchor their POS, which was a pretty fun fight, because then we started fighting with them, but the shield turned on, and actually we were losing that fight. So the shield turning on pushed everybody away, and it did save our combat fleet, which was like a ragtag thing of what we managed to pick up on the spot. We knew full well that we were risking it when we engaged, but it was like just a cool fight. And when that POS got anchored, the next day, Euro time, we did form up 19 people in battleship, plus the rest in other types of ship, and we had some friend to help too, with other with a little stronger ship, and we did ref that POS. So it got anchored on Tuesday, it got ref the next day, and we didn't have the number for the timer, but Shadow Cartel was in system. They noticed that it was getting refed, and they finished the job that we started. So thank you, Shadow Cartel, for finishing the job for us. That was well, it helped us out. Okay, the plan that we had initially was, since we saw that we couldn't get the second timer, was to try to ref it again on Friday and get the second timer on a weekend. So because on a weekend it's easier to get like our bigger number, but we didn't have to do that. And after that POS got shot, the next day, we did have a few exchange of word with the people that we were fighting, and we kind of basically come to the conclusion that we were both wasting our time, because we were not willing to like add a structure to the main corp and deck them to go hit them in low sec, in ISEC, I mean, because they have some structure in ISEC. We weren't ready to go that route, so we're still not non-declarable as a corp because our assets are in low sec. We didn't want a war in I, and they just kept pushing at our timer, but they could just rev the station to force us to form up, but they had to form up themselves and waste time to rev their station, and we waste time to form. So it was kind of a stalemate. So we basically just agreed to stop the hostility. And right now I wouldn't say we're at peace with them. We're still, they're gonna shoot us if they see us in Becquet, I'm pretty sure, and we're still gonna return the favor, but we're not at a point where we are. They're not like trying to hammer out our structure, and we're not doing anything to move against them on their structure side, because at some point, I mean, if we wouldn't be in a situation where we accept getting ref all the time and just form up, because it's just a waste of time. So we would eventually try to do something about this. So we both decided to stop wasting our time mutually, I would say. So that's kind of what happened on the war side. Aside from that, my own character, what you can see here, this is my new Gila. One thing that I wanted to was to have, I want to be able to keep Tanak close to the main, like the main structure, the main corp, to be able to group with the member on the fly. I usually jump clone between the incursion fleet and where the corp is, but I wanted to have the ability, like on a given week, to earn money locally and I'm not much. I don't really like mining, and so I built myself a Gila to run mission. I'm not a big pro. I just give it a try with T3 mission. They were easy. It's supposed the fit that I have here is supposed to be built for T4. So we'll see. I haven't never run a T4 mission, so I'll see what it how it goes. I did have that little skin here that was pretty sweet. I didn't buy the skin; it was just I had that in my hangar. I don't know where I don't remember where I got it, but it's pretty nice. So we'll see. So I did that. I'm now at 27 million skill point on Tanak. So still growing. I'm training to become like a better incursion pilot still. At some point, I'm making the choice, even though I started saying that I want to do industry. I do have like decent industrial skill. I got like some reprocessing skill that are pretty good. Well, they're mostly like I got reprocessing 5, reprocessing efficiency at 5, and some of the specific reprocessing at 4 or 3. I got like 4 build slot or 4 or 5 build slot, 4 build slot. I got like 7 or 8 research slots. So I do have like good dish, I would say, production skill, but I'm at a point where what the corp needs more to grow is more combat. So we need to be better at combat, and that's the way the game works. So I'm focusing more on combat on Tanak. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep pushing that route here for battleship, or I'm at a point where I could start training. I got like all the prerequisite to start training capital. So maybe I'll branch it to that. So do I want to focus on being a better battleship pilot or be a crappy cap pilot? I still need to decide that for myself, and at some point is also what you find fun versus what you want to do and what you want to try, because you want to try new thing in the game too. Like this thing running mission, I want to try it, so it's just a question of like I want to experience other different stuff in game. So that's one way to go at it. And like I said, as much as I like the industry aspect of the game, I probably like to study industry more than I like doing it. But the way it works in this game is, if you want to be an industrialist, you got to have people that protect you. So either you fight yourself and you're able to defend yourself, which is the route I'm taking, or you have people fighting for you. So you're in a corp and you're a non-combat pilot in a corp that will protect you because you bring other thing to the table. You build for the corp, you help them, and we have people in corp that are like that aren't really at the core combat pilot, but they do help the corp in many other ways. Or you fly in a corp where somebody will defend you. So you're basically using somebody else's structure, and they get the burden of the protection, and you pay them for using their structure. So that's kind of the different ways you have to look at it. But at some point, somebody got to do the protection. And the way we want to play this game is, since we want to own our own structure, and since we want to move down the line to larger structure, we do have to increase our military strength. And we did get like good progression this week. We did field, like I said before, we did field 45 people in fleet and Ferox. We are now capable of fielding a good 20, I would say 25 battleship. We can have a fleet of 25 rock to defend the station. So it is, I mean, obviously we're not like we're nothing compared to the real strong force in the game. But locally, we can hold our own. We're not like we're not afraid. We know we're able to defend our station, and we're getting close to the point where we would feel comfortable anchoring larger station. We're not there yet, but I would say in a few weeks, if we keep growing at that, if we keep adding like 5 to 10 combat pilot, 5 to 10 member every week, and these guys are good combat pilot, or even if half of them are combat pilot, I mean, our fleet keeps growing. We eventually we will move into capital to have our own little capital wing too, and at that point we can feel pretty confident that we are gonna be able to anchor a larger structure. Also, last week I talked. Sorry, having a sore throat. Last week we talked about possibly moving. We did get to we did get into started thinking a lot about like what we want to do and where we want to go in Corp. Here you can see the area we're in. So we're here in Becquet. We have, I would say, with the size that we have outgrown Becquet as a single system. Now the option for us and places we considered, I will tell you where we considered going and where we aren't. Okay, so we don't want to go to Null. That's pretty much a given. Okay, most of the people, I mean, a significant number of people in Corp were ex-Null person that wanted to get away from Null and wanted to get back to the more simpler life of a small Corp with low sec. So we have people like that. Going to Null is not something that we're ready to do, and we don't want. Don't want to join anybody else's alliance. That will not happen. It won't. Okay, and I do get offer like every week. We want to use our own structure, so I get offer to use somebody else's Satoyo every week also. We don't want that. We want to build our own stuff. Most of the at least 80% of the Corp, if not more, are here because of what we're doing, because we're building something from the ground up, and that they want that experience and they want to be part of that. And I, as a CEO, got to respect that. So I'm not going to take any shortcut and just like say, okay, like Bob here wants us to use a Satoyo, yay, let's go use a Satoyo, even if it's free, even if they don't charge us anything. That's not the point. That's not the point of the Corp. The point of the Corp is to build your own stuff, not to use somebody else's. So those are things that we're not considering. Now, since we're pretty much dead set on staying low /high sec, at least for the foreseeable future, we did look at a few other areas. If we go in the universe, we did look at Solitude, but Solitude means jump freighter mechanic. We don't want to go there. We're not going back to Essence short term. Essence is very, very busy, very competitive. We like it in Genesis, actually, where we are. We did look at some other area here, like Cador or Aridia would look interesting, but a lot of people told me Aridia is a death trap. So we're all in all, what we decided is like, why move? Because the fact that we've outgrowing one system might just mean that we need to get a second one and start expanding. Like Laurent is here. There's some good moon in Laurent too. Well, there's R16. There are not R64, but so that could be a place. So we're at least pretty sure we're staying in the general Genesis area, and the idea also is that we have a good setup in Becky, and we don't necessarily want to. We probably want to build on that and keep that instead of plainly moving. But again, these I'm giving it to you like raw as the discussion based on what we discussed today. But these discussions are always evolving. But we're not right now. Today we're more on the path to stay here than we are on the path of moving. At least that is like based on the discussion that we've had recently today. What we are looking for, though, if I could go here, these are the reaction formula. And the green one here are the one that we have at with the current moon mineral that we mine. So there's a few reactions that we can do already. What we are looking for, we're basically gonna scan. We're scanning a lot of moon this week and next week because we want to spot moon that could help us complete set here to do more reaction, to have like the different open the path to different kind of reaction. So that's about it. Aside from that, what else do I have to tell you? What to expect in the next week? Well, we want to keep growing our military, and we will continue to run those regular PvP operation. We've moved past gate camp, so we're probably gonna take like a fleet to Rome and shoot stuff. We are gonna continue to run. We're restarting the production chain, so we're gonna build more. We're gonna build more to try to add value to what we're mining and make more profit for the corp. We are going to look. We are looking actively to anchor this, probably a second Athanor for now, add another moon to our moon mining. At least that's what is being discussed right now. We are getting pretty close to have the confidence to anchor a large structure, and that will and I think that at that point it will be if we decide to if we find like a really good moon somewhere to anchor an Athanor there, or not an Athanor, right, a Tatara. So it's gonna be a Tatara first before Nazbel probably, just so that we can get the maximum low sec refining yield. We don't know yet where. We aren't quite ready to go there, but that is coming in. Like a large structure is definitely on our roadmap, and not next year. Like on a roadmap, I would say if I had to give a time scale, a month or two. Maybe faster if we keep growing at the rate we're going, and if we keep increasing our revenue. And then after that, once we get the Tatara there and it's secured and we secured the area, then the next step is a low sec belt to start to have the capacity to build combat capital. So that's the roadmap that we want for us right now. Where, not sure yet. We'll see. If I can keep Becky and do it in Genesis, not too far, that's one thing. Maybe upgrade our Becky station. That's all different different path that we have in front of us. The thing is that, like, it's an open-ended game, so you can't know day one what you want to. Like there's a lot of possibility. So you got to juggle between your head and find what's the best one for you. And we're still discussing all those things. So you're getting it a bit all messed up because I mean, I'm trying to communicate a thought process more than a final decision that we've decided yet. So this is our like. I'm giving you like what we're discussing right now and what's our thought process more than like a final answer. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. I've been rambling on a little bit today, but I hope you guys enjoy. I will try to post something middle of the week next week if I can get like a easier week at work or at least a little more time to prepare, because what I want to do is present how I approach diplomacy in game. And hopefully you'll find that other side enjoyable. Like I'm because I feel that I do some industrial content and you guys like enjoy it, and I will continue to do that, but I need to have something interesting to tell you too. So, and right now in the industry, I mean, I've shared the knowledge I've acquired so far. There's only so many videos I can make about calculating the cost, the bill cost of a thing A or B. So I think that diplomacy is also a thing that I've been playing a lot in game, and I think that I have stuff that I could make an interesting video with. And I'm not talking about like discussing behind the scene how Guns R Us is working and who are our allies and everything, but just the general ways of looking at like running your diplomacy in game and how you should approach that. So that's one thing I want to do next week. Anyway, I hope you guys have had fun, and see you next week. Bye bye.